Good day, viewers. Welcome to episode number 94 of Erongo Talk, brought to you from the Walvis Bay Tourism Centre. I am Otis, your host at the coast. Today, we celebrate Ask a Stupid Question Day. As usual on a Tuesday, we bring you the news, Grumpy's fishing report, the weather, as well as the tides. We also feature an interview with Sonja Malherbe, the coordinator for the street-based project in Swakopmund. Remember, our loyal viewers can win their share of accommodation vouchers for the upcoming Namibia Tourism Expo being given away by Namibia Media Holdings. All you need to do is answer the pop-up question during our show. Vouchers are redeemable at any accommodation stand at the Expo from 4 to 7 November. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment. Dinsdag is Erongo dag en ons gesels met julle in Afrikaans. Die COVID-19 pandemie was vir meeste mense 'n ongelooflike terugslag, maar vir Swakopmund se haweloses is daar eintlik 'n langtermyn oplossing. Die jeugkoshuis op die kusdorp is as tydelike huisvesting vir haweloses aangebied, maar die deelnemers aan die projek het die res van hulle lewens in gedagte. Die groep besef dat hulle nie altyd die jeugkombuis as skuiling kan gebruik nie, het 'n lid van die Swakopmund Street-based Network, mevrou Sonja Malherbe, gesê. Die groep hoop om 'n leë halfwegwys in Mondesa hulle permanente vesting te maak. Die veilige hawe in Mondesa is vir Morris de Klerk net die volgende stap, maar nie sy eindbestemming nie. De Klerk was onder meer verslaaf aan klip en sê dit het hom voor 'n moeilike kruispunt geplaas. Marshal Joseph is reeds vanaf die ouderdom van 13 op die straat en later het sy verkose dwelm Hendricks geword. Vandag is sy dwelm egter die kunste. Joseph het tot graad 8 skool gegaan en de Klerk tot graad 6, maar hulle program bied hulle opnuut opvoeding. Die projek se deelnemers help Vrydag die munisipaliteit gratis, maar beide Joseph en de Klerk hoop om 'n nuwe lewe te bou. Malherbe sê dat werk juis nie die enigste doel van die program is nie. Die publiek word ook genooi om te help. Saterdag word 'n sopkombuis gehou en 'n brood is al vereiste vir deelname. Die groep het onder meer al geleer om houtwerk te doen en tuin te maak. Tans word die houtwerk verkoop met die helfte van die winste wat gaan aan die deelnemers wat dit gemaak het, terwyl die ander helfte gespaar word. Die QKR Navigap goudmyn werk aan strategiese projekte wat die uitbreiding van sy verwerkingsaanleg teen 400 miljoen Namibiese dollar en die moontlike ontwikkeling van 'n ondergrondse myn teen 'n koste van 500 miljoen Namibiese dollar behels. Meneer George Potsiwe, die besturende direkteur van die goudmyn naby Karibib, het hierdie verwikkeling bevestig en gesê die planne het die potensiaal om produksie by die myn met tussen 40 en 50% te verhoog en die lewensduur van die myn met tot 20 jaar te verleng. Die myn se produksiekoste het deur die jare aansienlik gegroei en produksie het tot so 'n lae vlak gedaal dat die myn teen 2018 in 'n benarde situasie beland het met likwiditeitsprobleme en negatiewe kontantvloei. Dit het die volhoubaarheid van die myn en die lewensbestaan van meer as 400 werknemers bedreig. Wat sy sê, hulle kon nie as 'n onderneming toelaat dat dit gebeur nie en het 'n omkeerstrategie begin om bedryfkoste te verlaag en produktiwiteit en omset te verbeter. Die strategie projek Kaima, wat staan op in Damra beteken, is in 2018 aangekondig met volle ondersteuning van al die mynpersoneel. So wat sy sê, hulle het daarin geslaag om produktiwiteit en nog belangriker, die myn se finansiële posisie te verbeter in so 'n mate dat dit nou die bedryf en uitbreiding van die myn met hulle eie geld kan finansieer sonder die hulp van 'n derde party. Die myn het onlangs toerusting ter waarde van meer as 600 miljoen Namibiese dollar aangekoop met sy eie kontant. Ja, ons is ook besig om hierdie jaar byna 100 personeellede te verwerf en beplan nog verdere werwing vir volgende jaar, het Potsiwe gesê. Navagap is 'n oop groefmyn wat in Desember 1989 met produksie begin het teen 'n koste van 85 miljoen Namibiese dollar. Dit lewer gemiddeld 2,5 ton goud per jaar. En nou vir ietsie ligter. Die strandhotel se kombuis is hierdie naweek vir die eerste keer vir amateurchefs en tuiskokke geopen, sodat professionele chefs en kokke van die instansie hulle kennis kon deel. Die uitvoerende souschef Donovan Dodds het wat die amateurchefs deur die voorbereiding en opdis van die hoofgereg gelei het, sê dit maak hom baie opgewonde om sy passie te deel. Dodds het reeds in 1998 in die bedryf, maar die uitvoerende pasteibakker Christiana Wisnowski se ondervinding van meer as 4 dekades spreek boekdele. Wisnowski vertel dat dit niks niets is vir haar om gaste in haar kombuis te onthaal nie. 'n Restaurant waarvoor sy gewerk het gereeld kombuistoere aangebied. Die Farmhouse Kitchen se hoofchef Herbert van Skalkwyk het 'n span van 4 deur die voorbereiding van die voorgereg geneem. Ja, so na die groep al 3 gang maaltyd geniet het die strandhotel se hoofchef Dallas Orr gesê hy is in sy noppies met wat hulle geskep het en het onderneem om soortgelyke geleenthede aan te bied. En nou vir iets wat aangaande ons hawe is. Depmarine Namibia het onlangs aangekondig dat konstruksie goed vorder aan die IMV3 diamantskip wat by die Damenskeepswerf in Mangalia, Roemenië gebou word. Die verwagting is dat die skip in Oktober vanjaar voltooi sal wees. Die vordering kom ten spyte van die wêreldwye COVID-19 pandemie, aangesien 'n spesiale reaksieplan geïmplementeer is om veiligheid en gesondheid te verseker, volgens mevrou Anna Ikela, senior woordvoerder van Depmarine. Sy sê die projek is nog op koers om betyds en binne die begroting voltooi te word. Spesiale toerusting vir die skip word in Kaapstad se hawe gebou en sluit in die diamant-herwinningstoestel, bekend as die crawler, en die verwerkingsaanleg wat op die skip geïnstalleer sal word. Die stal van die crawler is gelewer en die montering verloop goed. Die plaaslike diensverskaffer Belmont Namibia het 'n gedeelte van die stalwerke op Walvis Bay vervaardig en dit reeds afgelewer, het Ikela gesê. Vir die skip se eerste vaart vroeg in 2021 sal dit eers na Kaapstad vaar om sendingstoerusting te installeer voordat dit koers na Namibia sal kry. Vir meer oor die stories en vir vele ander stories gaan maak gerus 'n draai op ons webwerf www.erongo.com.na. En dit bring ons aan die einde van ons nuussegment vir vandag.
So we are here with Sonja Malherbe of the Street-Based Network. Hi Sonja, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So can you tell us a little bit about where the Street-Based Network started?
So Street-Based Network started in Swakopmund. After the state of emergency was announced, the councillor decided to take about 15 to 16 guys on and off into the youth hostel for accommodation, where the guys had a shower and was provided with food parcels once a week. There was a clear need for maybe getting a program involved. There was a lot of people, about 10 different people, having some time during COVID to spend with these guys. Most of Swakopmund will know the guys living here, as they are sort of part of our community on the street. Yeah.
So, what classes are these guys receiving right now?
From the beginning, there's been gardening, and the guys really put a lot of love in it. It's like when you garden, it's you love and care for your garden because you're going to eat from there. It also teaches you to love and care for yourself. So the garden project is one of our really proud projects, especially as they can also make some money out of it for themselves. Then they have art classes, therapeutical art, where we just used it as a network for trying to understand each person individually. We had reading and writing classes, just to see also on what level they are with that. Then we had Adam Labeskagni as our drug counsellor. He's been doing one-on-one counselling sessions with them, just to try and assist them with trying to find out where we can really help and how deep we can go. So what is your basic need now after you've tried to come to a stage where you don't have to use your substance anymore, and with that, we figured out, okay, well, there's a lack of, nobody's got IDs or birth certificates. So we try to see where we can assist now in that. We've got books where they learn for their driver's license, which is really important to many people. Like, it's something nobody can take from you. So, yeah, we are proud of everybody that puts in that effort to go to Home Affairs and go get a declaration, for your ID, and what else? There's woodwork classes that's doing really, really well. The guys are making awesome little flower pots, and we try to also stimulate the creativity, and that's been working out great. And then another thing that we can really be proud of them is for the last 6 months they have been working every Friday for the municipality for the whole day, and they work for free, but it's their way of giving back. There's been a project where they would go into DRC and do a bit of an outreach, where they will help people to fix their shacks after East Wind was here, for a whole month. And then there is the soup kitchen that they do every Saturday, that we try and encourage them to also use from their garden, and also from donations that we get for food, to also feed other vulnerable people like car guards that come here. And I think that's...
And then Sonja, aside from addiction, mental health is still a big issue. It's not only addiction, there is a big mental health issue in people who are living on the streets. So what other issues are commonly occurring in this group of people?
Wow, I would say for you being an addict, there's a reason why you became an addict, so it comes maybe from being young and you had lack of love and lack of really parental control and
guidance.
So that's really what we've seen. At the end of the day, the substance that they are using, it became their best friend in their family. It was something that they can count on, and without that, it's it sort of came out now. Okay, then you leave your substance, and now what? Now now you're alone. Now you don't have anything. You don't know better. You don't know how to change. You don't know who to be without it. So what happens then is that they become vulnerable and they latch on to anything else. They're not alcoholics, but now they're starting to drink because they can't really deal with... exactly. And they can't really deal with the fact that that now they are cared for, but am I worth it because I've been so bad in the future? So I think it's also a big a confidence, quite big. So you can see that, but slowly they're turning and becoming more going out there, and trusting themselves and feeling better about themselves.
And then Sonia, moving ahead, obviously the hope is not for these people to return back to the streets anytime soon or ever. So going ahead, what is your hope for these groups, this group of individuals?
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to seeing all of them on their own feet. For them, it's also not comfortable for men to sleep 15 men together, and everybody's got their own little thing going in their head and struggling by themselves. So for the future, I would think it would be amazing if they can have like their own little house where they can stand on their own feet, buy their own food, look after themselves, and and I think that can be done with getting your ID. Okay, you've got that. That's your first step. Okay, second step, let's get a driver's license. With a driver's license, you can make something, just to reintegrate them into society, really. And I think the aspect of using money is a big one. Like, they don't really know how to. Now they get money, so now they don't buy pills anymore, but they
Spend another way.
Yeah, they spend it another way because they don't know what am I saving for. I don't have really rent to pay. I don't have, so they're not there yet where they have the responsibilities that us as a society have,
But they do, but they're getting there, hopefully.
Yes, that is the plan with their spinach garden. They also applied for a piece of land from the government where each man can have his own piece of land and then work on it himself and become like an entrepreneur.
Lovely.
Yeah. So with that, I'm hoping that it will give them opportunity to be able to stand on their own feet and do their own thing. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for speaking with us today, Sonja. That was Sonja Malherbe of the Street Based Network in Swakopmund.
And now for your fishing report. The big cop had finally arrived, reports Grumpy, who said he was flooded by reports this week of some big boys being pulled ashore. This time the fishing areas like Doopsagat and Horingbaai produced the magic. Canopy was also in the mix. Most cop were being caught against the sandbanks in these areas. Long deep casts did the trick, with pilchards and baby squid being the baits that worked best. Other areas that also produced were the likes of the Winston Wreck and Skilpad Klip. The Winston Wreck also had a lot of spotted gully sharks in the area. Now back to Doopsagat, where the sandbanks are quite distant, with your casting having to be over 120 meters if you wanted to get a bite. The fish were of a good size and were averaging 7 kilograms, with some over 10 kilograms being pulled ashore. The north wind had a negative effect on the fishing. This wind usually makes the ocean very clean, a very clean color, and it affects fish bites. A better wind would be usually a southwester, which brings color to the water, and with it the fish starts biting again. Having said that, the fish should improve again in this upcoming week. Benny Saroy Lorry again delivered its fair share of galjoen, with Grace Dainty also adding some cop and galjoen closer to Henties. The conditions really look favorable in the upcoming week, so go and wet a line whenever the chance presents itself, Grumpy advised. The areas to target should be from Canopy to Horingbaai. These areas are really popular and readily produce big fish year after year. Grumpy wished all anglers tight lines, singing reels, and banded rods. And that concludes our fishing report for today. now for your weather and the tides. We had a high tide at 2:15 with a second high tide due at 2:30. And then the first low tide arrived at 8:10 with another low tide coming in at 8:30 tomorrow. And then the sun was out between 21 minutes to 7 and 7:15 and is expected to set between 6 minutes to 7 and 7 o'clock for the major towns in the Erongo region. And moving on to the predicted temperatures. Walvis, a maximum of 18 with a west-northwest wind conditions, a minimum of 10 and a maximum of 17 for tomorrow. Swakopmund, a maximum of 16 with a west-northwestern wind conditions, a minimum of 10 and a maximum of 16 predicted for tomorrow. Walvis Bay, a maximum of 16 with west wind conditions in the area, a minimum of 12 and a maximum of 16 predicted for tomorrow. Arandas, a maximum of 25 and a south-southwesterly wind in the area with a minimum of 8 and a maximum of 21 predicted for tomorrow. Moving to Usakos, a maximum of 33 and a north-northwesterly wind in the area, a minimum of 4 and a maximum of 21 predicted for tomorrow. Karibib, a maximum of 33 and a northern wind prevailing in the area, a minimum of 5 and a maximum of 31 predicted for tomorrow. And finally, Omaruru, with a maximum of 34 and a northeastern wind in the area today, and a minimum of 5 and a maximum of 33 predicted for tomorrow. And that concludes your weather and the tides. And that brings us to the end of another edition of Erongo Talk. I hope you've enjoyed the content of our show. Erongo Talk is an extension of our website www.erongo.com.na and our Erongo 24/7 Facebook page. We have close to 70,000 online followers and you are most welcome to join our family. Go like and then click on the links on our Facebook page to access any of the stories we talked about, information about services as well as adverts on our website. If you need to advertise or promote a product or your company, this is the place to be. Send us a WhatsApp at 081 170 0040. I repeat, 081 170 0040 and we will get in touch with you. You are most welcome to drop us tips of what's happening in your community. Stay sanitized, healthy and safe. Also, wear those masks at all times and adhere to the curfew regulations. Keep your social distancing. Protect yourself. Cheerio.